Just when you thought that Elon Musk couldn't get any more ambitious, he's about to use Tesla to seriously disrupt yet another industry. In the coming years, Tesla will roll out sustainable electricity on a scale so unfathomable, it'll make no sense to keep the energy business under the Tesla umbrella. It'd have to be a separate entity. Tesla's battery storage division has come a long way from figuring what batteries would be best suitable for its EV to powering entire cities in the middle of a disaster. Recently, Tesla moved to Texas, and while many believe that tax breaks were one of the reasons for the move, it seems like they number more than one. Tesla Energy wants to take over Texas and become one of its biggest electrical utility providers. After that, they're set to take over the world. But wait, let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. I mean, we're talking about electricity utility provision, which is one of the most rigid industries in the American economy. How does Tesla intend to pull off a disruption in Texas energy space? Tesla plans on leveraging its electricity storage, cutting the middleman and selling electricity directly to customers, and it's all thanks to Texas and its deregulated system. Among all 50 states in the U.S., Texas is the only state that has its own power grid that exists to serve only Texas and Texans. It's been that way since the 1930s, and Texas deregulated the energy industry in their state to the point that anyone and anybody with enough money could set up their own utility company from scratch and start selling power. A perfect test ground for Tesla's proven energy products. As a direct result of the endless competition in the space, Texas has some of the cheapest electricity rates in the country. But it also means that events like the February winter storm that disabled the power grid across the state and caused the deaths of many could happen anytime and throw the state into an emergency they're ill-equipped for. In fact, since the 30s, when energy providers voted for an independent power grid far away from federal interference, the state suffered several devastating winter storms that have had devastating consequences. Now, whenever there's a problem, you can always trust that a solution won't be too far behind, and in this case, the solution is Tesla, and they just set up a permanent shop in Austin, Texas. So how does Tesla intend to solve this energy supply issue? For Tesla, it'll take centralized and decentralized storage with a delivery model which will then be combined with green energy generators like solar and wind farms. Now, the star of the show is the Tesla Megapack. It's a massive battery that has a capacity of 3.1 megawatts of energy and 0.8 megawatts of power. The difference between power and energy is this. Energy is the capacity to store electricity, while power is the capacity to supply electricity. So what this means is the Megapack battery can store massive amounts of energy that it can then supply at a more steady rate. The reason for this has a lot to do with the battery chemistry. While regular battery packs use traditional lithium-ion cells, the Megapack utilizes a lithium iron phosphate chemistry that costs very little on the cell level because of the abundant accessibility of iron in nature. However, this means that the batteries supply power at a lower level than it stores, which is perfect for residential areas because the electricity consumption of the average American household is 29.8 kilowatt hours. The Megapack is more than sufficient. Besides from its energy capacity, the Megapack is a self-contained power generator with fully integrated battery modules, thermal systems, inverters so that consumers don't have to worry about anything but plugging in. So how much does the Megapack cost, and how can this turn into a trillion-dollar business for Tesla? Well, one Megapack costs $1.2 million, 10 Megapacks for $10 million with 30 megawatts of energy. In Angleton, a town of nearly 20,000 located 40 miles south of Houston, Tesla installed around 35 Megapacks that have a storage capacity of 100 megawatts and could power approximately 20,000 homes. Currently, there are 9.9 million households in Texas. What this means is that it would take 17,465 Megapacks, which would produce around 49 gigawatts. For Texas alone, the cost would be $20,958 million. That seems like an awful amount of money, but it's not beyond Texas. In 2020-2021, their budget for general-purpose spending was around $116 billion. Okay, maybe we are being a little too ambitious. What if they do something similar as in Hornsdale Power Reserve in southern Australia, another 100 megawatt hour, or Ventura County, California, where they also dispatched 400 megawatt hours of capacity? By targeting counties, they could easily reach the $21 billion milestone in Texas. In Moss Landing, Tesla installed 256 megapack batteries, and it supplied an impressive 750 megawatt hour. Already, California has been mass adopting Tesla energy, but Tesla has been slowly expanding their capacity in Texas as well by ramping up their big battery projects in the state. In March 2021, Tesla began construction on a 100 megawatt hour battery project near Houston. While smaller when compared to the projects that Tesla has in California, it's a step in the right direction. So far, we've just spoken about a centralized approach to distributing Tesla energy. I believe that concurrently, Tesla will be pushing their smaller energy projects into homes across Texas, and this will allow them to properly take over the electricity industry because they'll not only have a network of decentralized energy storage, but they'd also have successfully bypassed the middleman because an average Texan household would have a power wall in their home that'd deal with all their power and energy storage needs. We're talking about an entire city of citizens who are their own power plants. That sounds like something that anyone would want. So Tesla doesn't sell the Powerwall without the Tesla solar roof system. This is practical because your home literally becomes self-sufficient and you can store energy even when there's no power. A Powerwall has a storage capacity of 13.5 kilowatt hours, which is enough to run a house for a day or two. And if your pockets are deep enough, you can buy as many Powerwalls as you want and use them for your energy needs. A Powerwall costs $10,500. So if we imagine that 10% of the 9.9 million households in Texas bought at least one Powerwall, that would sum up to a staggering $10 billion in sales alone. That's a figure from just 990,000 households, which I think Tesla can conveniently capture. Already there are around 50,000 Powerwalls in the state of California alone, and that number's increasing steadily. And the rumor is that the demand for Powerwalls is actually way beyond what Tesla has the capacity to make. They're extremely popular in California, but Tesla has also seen a massive spike for these systems come up recently in Texas. And as we said earlier, Texas deregulation policy is the perfect breeding ground for Tesla's disruptive energy technology. At the moment, Texans are dissatisfied with the services that Encore is providing them. Now, Encore is the biggest energy provider in Texas, and they're eager for something new and more reliable. And that means around 10 million customers might pitch a new tent soon enough in Tesla's camp. With big battery projects underway, a network of home battery storage, and solar generation distributed throughout the state, Tesla Energy is poised to take over sooner rather than later. Now, Tesla could also function as an electricity retailer. In the past, they've been working through middlemen, existing utility providers that dispatch their power from their batteries. But this means that they've been leaving a lot of money on the table, and we know that Tesla is not the kind of company that enjoys passing by an opportunity. If they can run things themselves, they will. And the reason why utility providers have been spending millions of dollars on Tesla Megapack projects is because it's profitable, and they'll make their money back, especially with the recently increased Texas power bill. So an opportunity presents itself for Tesla, one that they could either take or miss. If Tesla decided to take this path, we could see them not only cutting off the competition, but they could also broker a special kind of relationship between the company and its customers in a way that would ensure that customers could make money by selling excess power generated by Powerwall back to their energy storage facilities. There's been no doubt about the lucrative nature of Tesla's energy division. While it's taken longer than expected to become commonplace, the places where it's been adopted have seen decreased costs and increased stability and power. From a national scale of adoption, Tesla would be making obscene figures that would affect the budgets of many first-world companies. If you doubt me, then multiply the price of one Powerwall with just 1% of the world's household population. The figure is $420 billion. Yes, if Tesla were just able to sell one Powerwall to 1% of the world's household population, they would make a revenue of that figure. Now, when you factor in the other directions we mentioned earlier, the possibilities become endless. Given the relatively high cost that gas-powered power grids supply, customers all over the U.S. and Europe are bound to become early adopters of Tesla's energy service. Just the ability to avoid high recurring utility grid fees is more than enough. Now, when you factor in the prospect of selling back excess electricity to the main grid, it puts everything in perspective. The amount that Tesla is spending on R&D in the energy division greatly surpasses the rest of its competitors. Coupled with that, it has a first-mover advantage in battery technology, combined with a branded ecosystem of energy products that invoke the Apple smartphone's early stages. With the way things appear, we might just permanently associate energy with Tesla, and they'll become the brand in energy storage. But what do you think? Will Tesla take over the Texas electricity ecosystem? And what about other utility companies? How do you think they'll respond to this disruption? Thanks for watching. Until next time.